But we begin with breaking news tonight. A 20-foot section of the cliff walk in Newport has collapsed. This happened this afternoon. Salve Regina University sent an email to students. They say it happened in the area of Webster Street and Narragansett Avenue.
No one was in the area at the time and no injuries were reported. The city has closed that portion of the cliff walk and deemed it a dangerous hazard. People are being told to avoid the area until an inspection has been done and it can be deemed safe again.
Now to a story the Target 12 investigators first broke on WPRI.com. It's yet another reprieve for convicted former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Shannon Heggie. On the eve of having to report to prison, Correia was granted another month of freedom. He was convicted 9 months ago in a sweeping public corruption case. Target 12 investigator Tim White's been tracking this case from day one and is here now with the latest details. Tim?
Mike and Shannon, this case has been hanging like a cloud over Fall River since 2018, yet despite a conviction and multiple defendants who pleaded guilty in related cases, not a single person has served 1 day in prison for their misdeeds. This is Target 12 video of former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia arriving home on a day he learned that he just received another month of freedom. For a sixth time, U.S. District Judge Douglas Woodlock has given Correia a stay. He was supposed to report to a federal prison in New Hampshire on Friday to begin his 6-year sentence after being convicted on multiple fraud, conspiracy, and extortion charges.
He's had quite a string of luck so far.
Former Rhode Island U.S. Attorney Robert Correia says COVID has changed the landscape for these kinds of delays, but the continued reprieves for Correia does stand out.
What is unusual is the court's apparent willingness to entertain these sort of sequential requests for further extensions and further stays of reporting for reasons other than COVID.
Correia was originally supposed to report to prison on December 3rd, but successfully requested a delay so he could help out at his wife's Fall River restaurant through the busy holiday season. Then there were delays due to COVID, and now his appeal before the First Circuit.
It looks like the defense team is trying to sort of get its papers on file and make the best argument it can for why they have a significant chance of succeeding on the appeal and reversing the conviction, and using that as a reason to spring him during the pendency of the appeal.
Correia is now scheduled to report to prison on April 5th. Coming up, new at 6, Correia's former chief of staff, Genevieve Andrade, has agreed to plead guilty. What that deal with prosecutors could mean for her potential sentence. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.
Now to a story the Target 12 investigators broke first on WPRI.com. It's another 30 days of freedom for convicted former Mayor Jasiel Correia.
On the eve of having to report to a federal prison in New Hampshire, his request for more time was granted by a federal judge. Target 12 investigator Tim White has been tracking this case from day one and is here now with the latest details.
This is Target 12 video of Jasiel Correia from today. Just hours after learning he was granted another reprieve from prison, he now has to start his sentence on April 5th. Former Fall River Mayor Jasiel Correia was supposed to report to prison on December 3rd to begin his 6-year prison sentence. He was convicted last May in a public corruption case accused of shaking down businesses who wanted to open cannabis shops in the city. But after 6 reprieves, he has been able to secure an additional 120 days of freedom.
He's had quite a string of luck so far.
Former U.S. Attorney of Rhode Island Robert Correia says the pandemic has caused delays because prisons were overrun with the virus, but Correia's situation is out of the ordinary.
What is unusual is the court's apparent willingness to entertain these sort of sequential requests for further extensions and further stays of reporting.
Federal prosecutors opposed the latest request by Correia, writing in a motion, "The people of Fall River have a right to see their corrupt former mayor finally held accountable for his egregious abuse of his position of trust."
It's enormously frustrating for everybody to go through the whole process, to get the result that you set out to get, which is a conviction, and then not see the last chapter play out.
Separately, Correia's former chief of staff, Genevieve Andrade, is scheduled to be sentenced on Monday after reaching a plea deal that could spare her prison time. Now, the judge could reject the agreement or sentence her to prison. A previous plea deal was given the thumbs down by the judge. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.